This is Sonic, and you're watching JD Frank20.
What is up, everybody? And a happy birthday to me. Yes, I appreciate everybody for stopping by. Now, we're going to have basically the segment, Story Time with JD Part 2. Yes, I know it's been a long time since we did a Part 1. If you want a recap of what I'm talking about, I'll post the link in the description and you'll see what I'm talking about. Yes, Sonic Age of Ragnarok, I've already explained basically the prologue basically of the game, this and that, what's happened. But like I said, if you need a recap, just click the link in the description and you'll understand. Now, obviously, since it's my birthday, I decided, you know what, y'all deserve a special treat, you know. And I just basically got this inspiration just early this week, actually, believe it or not. Now, what I'm talking about, basically, is Amy's journey. You're all probably wondering, like, what is this about? Is this, like, DLC, sideload, almost like Episode Shadow? No. Amy's journey is nothing like Episode Shadow. Well, I wouldn't say per se. But Amy's journey is actually in the actual story of Age of Ragnarok after that horrific event happened. If you need a quick recap of what happened is, after that one horrific event happened, all three heroes were knocked out unconscious. They were all captured in sphere orbs by Eggman. And so Eggman basically, in a way, won, in a way, quote unquote. I'll get to that in a moment. So Dr. Eggman and Malachi have both won. Like, who's gonna stop them? Now, obviously, Sonic's final words just before he was either captured or was in the state that he was defenseless was to Miss Amy was, "Don't give up." And then, of course, the rest is history. She was able to make a retreat. She was able to escape. Now, you're probably wondering, like, to the others, like, oh, what difference does it make? Amy has, you know, Amy's a nobody to them. So why wouldn't it matter anyways? Because what Dr. Eggman is doing is he's being smart. He's targeting basically all of Sonic's friends who have either military background or have experience. That's why he's going to focus more on Knuckles, Vector, you know, those kind of leaders who know what they're doing when it comes to combat. You know, some who even have tactical advantages. Who's Amy in a way? To them, a nobody in a way. So Amy was able to escape, but she decided to go on her own basically. She just wants to get off the grid right now. And then, of course, when she gets off the grid, she basically is met by someone. Now, this someone, obviously, is one of my creations, of course. I hope you will all enjoy her appearance. But this creation, obviously, her name is Anna. I can't go into details on the last name, but you get my point. She is a loose cannon. She has military experience, quote unquote, and she is fucking awesome. Now, now you're probably saying, why am I bringing this up? Remember when I said that Amy had a 1-year journey, basically, when she had training, this and that? Who trained her? Anna trained her. She basically trained her to become more fearless, to become more of a badass. You can't be this cutesy hedgehog anymore. You gotta toughen up, Amy. You know, as like Sonic said, you know, don't give up, but at the same time, what can she realistically do? You know, so Amy decided just to, you know, she had to do what she had to do, basically. She went through a lot of rigorous training, you know, learning how to, you know, fire from a distance using bow and arrow techniques, fight close quarter combat with even more combat, being a little bit more ruthless, and other training methods. After that 1 year was up, basically, that's it. I mean, Amy is a changed woman, is what you see in the thumbnail, basically. You gotta realize, you gotta build character progression. I can't just make Amy a badass for the sake of doing it. You gotta let the stuff marinate. You gotta let it marinate and let it get over organically. That's what I'm talking about. I can't just say, oh, here's a badass version of Amy. Go out there and save the day. I can't do that. I gotta build into it, which is the purpose of Amy's journey. Her journey is actually part of the main story itself. It's not a side story. One of the things I've always questioned about Episode Shadow was, I think it would have been great if it was in the main story, not after the post game. I honestly think that Sega had an idea here, where they could have added Episode Shadow in the main story, like, you know, kind of like, you know how they say Sonic 3 and Knuckles, basically, how stupid they said that both stories happened at the same time, even though that wasn't true. But here, it could have worked, but no, they dropped the ball, and Episode Shadow is just like, oh, here's your story, but who cares? It wasn't part of the main story. They could have added all those elements into the main story, making the game a little bit longer. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you have a good story and it connects the dots here and there, and it gave us more information about Infinite and Shadow, I would have been fine with that. Okay, now let's get back to back on track. So yes, after Amy's had her journey, this and that. However, Amy does have a debt to pay, basically, for to Anna. Anna, I'm gonna get to the point right now. All right. This is the part of the story where you're realizing, how did I get this inspiration? Alistair, who's basically one of the 3 commanders of Dark Infinity, obviously, Master of Flight, she and Anna actually had a little bit of a love interest. Look, long story short is, one of the primary reasons why Alistair is going after Shadow, who was the president of Gun Corporation at the time, was because of a horrific event that happened to his family. His son was taken away from him by gun forces after they raided his village out of nowhere. And ever since that, he's blamed Shadow for that because he is the current president of Gun Corporation, where at the time it was actually someone else who was in charge. I'll go more in depth on who was in charge and who called that heinous assault at the time. We're just talking about Age of Ragnarok stuff right now. Okay, so I'll get to that. I'll get to it, okay? Like I said, I'm a great storyteller. I know what I'm fucking doing. So obviously, Anna, being the mother, being the loose cannon, being the mom she is, she wants to get her son back also. Only this time, she realizes that with Amy, she could actually do that. She trained her well. She thinks now might be the time. She's also a military background, so they have weapons, access to weapons. Where are these weapons? Well, this is the fun part right here. They're actually hidden somewhere in the desert. Yes, because I also came up with 4 unique levels, and with 4 unique levels for Amy's journey. These levels are actually going to add to the story, and then of course, you're going to realize why this is awesome. Amy's journey by far might be one of my favorite concepts I ever came up with. One of my favorite things also is it shows how she became basically a changed woman. Like, how did Amy learn how to do this? How did she learn how to do that? You know, when you read between the lines, Sonic Age of Ragnarok looks more like a prequel to Dark Infinity when you think about it. Knowing how the hell does Amy know how to do this, even though her heart knows how to do it, but her mind doesn't. Like, something must have happened later down the road. I don't know. Y'all think about that. Y'all theorize about that. What could have possibly happened? Should it be a prequel to Dark Infinity, or should it really be the sequel to it after the other 2 games so you get the full rundown of what the story is? Alright, let's not go on another tangent here. I tend to do that a lot, basically. Hey, that's what happens when you don't have a script. I speak from the heart. Okay, so basically one of the obviously the first level where you're introduced to Anna would be Extreme Railway. It's basically an abandoned railroad. It's a fun level, fun concept. Kind of get your feet wet here and there. Fun, unique gimmicks here and there. It's pretty cool. You know, so it's a fun concept. And of course, our next level would have to be, it's a desert level. This is basically a fun, unique concept also. You know, like I said, basically because the main story takes place in the Middle East. That's where our primary plot will take place. Quote unquote. If I'm giving out spoilers, well, too bad. I already gave you basically the main plot of where the location's gonna be. And it makes sense when you think about it. You know? So obviously, the next level would have to be, it's a desert level. This is where basically, once you get through everything, you discover where the hidden weapons are, which you'll need for the next area, which will be the lab. This lab right here is where Dr. Eggman has basically all of his advanced cyber robotics built. This is very critical right here. Remember when I said that Eggman is a man of alchemy? Well, now that he has all that secret information of how to build advanced cyber robotics, robots that are even more dangerous than they already are, getting an insane power boost, and with the influence of Malachi and his dark magic, what do you think's gonna happen? Eggman is more powerful than ever, having all these having this lab being his basically, you know, his brainchild to create more powerful robots to take over the world, because nobody could stop him now that the 3 main heroes are out of commission. So Amy and Anna both had the brilliant idea that said, you know what, let's blow up this damn lab. That might cause shockwaves, which it did. I'll get to that in a moment. However, Malachi's aware of what's going on, obviously. So he sends down a hunter, a robot, to go deal with this. You know what's funny is in Sonic Adventure, and a lot of this, believe it or not, are callbacks to Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Because in Sonic Adventure 1, who was chasing down Amy during her journey? A robot named Zero. And now fast forward to Age of Ragnarok. Now you have a robot chasing her down, but the only difference is Malachi has the orders to have her exterminated. Or put out of commission in a way. The only difference is this robot is fucking advanced cyber. This is this is next level technology right here. So you ain't gonna get Zero, obviously, being chasing your ass. No, not like that. This is some really dangerous shit right here. So obviously, now Amy's got a legitimate threat chasing her, but Amy also has a score to settle also. So in a way, she wants to get back at Eggman and Malachi for what she witnessed. So for her, it's personal. You gotta realize this version of Amy, she's very tough actually. She hardly shows no emotion here and there. She doesn't cry or anything like that. Now you're probably wondering, isn't this something I'm against? No. This is different because she's a changed woman now. She has no room for emotions. She can't let her emotions get the better of her. She's concentrating. She's tough. She's a badass. She has to stick to that. She knows what her mission is. She knows that her life is on the line. But if this is what she has to do to get one step closer to saving Sonic, so be it. She's on a mission here, and she'll do anything, and I'll mean anything, to get him back. So once you get to the lab has fun concepts here and there. One of my favorite concepts is we actually do blow up the lab. Very dramatic fashion here and there. And then, of course, I already have the ending sequence here and there about the, on the final boss fight before you get on to the rest of the adventure of Age of Ragnarok. But I'm telling you right now, the way I build up Amy Rose in this game is fucking phenomenal and makes sense. And you're all going to enjoy this. I just hope you're all going to be okay with these new additions I added to her. And also the new additions that Amy has is she has fun abilities also. Like I said, she can shoot from a distance with her with a bow and arrow ability. She can fire anything, and I mean anything, any arrow. Even my personal favorite, the detonation arrows, which have bombs in them. Those are really fun ones. So yeah, man, I love this so much. I mean, this concept can work, and I had to rewrite a few things here and there, make a few tweaks, but it works. Let me know what y'all think about this. I mean, please tell me you're okay with the way I rewrit everything, because not only is Amy awesome, but also you get a new character added to this. And the way Anna is, she's awesome. I mean, once we rescue her son, I mean, she is truly awesome. Like, she's basically a mother bear protecting her cub, and she'll do anything to protect him at all times. I mean, she is that awesome. Like I said, I mean, and remember, these are two females that are fucking alpha females. They're badass what they're doing here. You'd think, oh, how is this believable that you have two alpha females doing all this, going up against Eggman and Malachi? Yes, but remember, this is a small force. They're under the radar, and by the time the damage is already done, Malachi is so furious. So is Dr. Eggman. That's when they go to phase 2. And that's when we continue with the rest of the game, which is why things are the way they are. It adds to the story. You're adding another layer to the chapter. You're adding to it. That's why my story makes sense, and that's why Amy's journey that chapter, that saga is part of the main game. It connects the pieces. It's not a forgettable experience like Episode Shadow or Episode Metal for that count. If you think between the lines, this is all one big story. Nothing is out of place here. Everything makes sense. As a storyteller, that's the important thing right there. Alright, I gotta go, and I'm gonna have a good birthday. Peace out!